sometimes in Nashville you sit down with somebody who's pretty much a stranger. And that's usually good because you don't have any preconceptions about each other's work. I met a fellow named John Besner, who was, unbeknownst to both of us, going to marry Kathy Mattea someday. And he and I set up a writing appointment. And that morning I woke up and I thought, wow, that's a cool idea. And I had just a little bit of a fragment running around in my head of, this old town was built by hand. And then I thought, well, this old town should have burned down. And I thought, well, that's a really weird thing to say about a town. But let me trust my talent, because that's the big piece. And I'll just present it to this stranger, John Besner, and if he laughs at me, well, then we'll go out for lunch and have a good time and say goodbye. And he went, this old town should have burned down in 1929. That's when we stood in line. And I sang back, waiting for our soup. And he said, swallowing our pride. Oh. And all of a sudden, we went, okay, 1929, and then we can do 1944, and then we can do, it is just those 2 years, isn't it? The reason I don't sing it a lot is because I get very confused over the years, because I wasn't around it. But we had a really good time writing it, and coincidentally enough, not 2 weeks later, a singer named Nancy Griffith called me and said, you know what, I'm cutting an album called Other Voices, Other Rooms of folk songs, and I would like a Janisian folk song. And I said, I got a folk song for you. This old town should have burned down in 1929. That's when we stood in line, waiting for our soup, swallowing our pride. This old town should have burned down in 1931, when the rain refused to come. Air filled up our bellies, dust filled up our lungs, and we thought our time had come. But this old town was built by hand in the dust bowl of the motherland. Must be rock beneath the sand, I'll be damned, this town still stands. This old town should have burned down in 1944, when the last man went to war. They came back different, they came back at all. This old town should have burned down in 1956. That's when the twister hit, and all our hopes lay buried beneath the dust and grit, and we almost called it quits. This old town was built by hand in the dust bowl of the motherland. Must be rock beneath the sand, I'll be damned, this town still stands. Somewhere in the distance the city lights do shine, sidewalks gleam with neon dreams that call from time to time. When my children's children ask me why I didn't go, I'll say the heart of any town is the people that you know, and they always call you home. This old town was built by hand in the dust bowl of the motherland. There is rock beneath the sand, I'll be there, this town still stands.